You know, I really hate to be the one that told you so. But I did. I told you guys about 10, 12, 15 chapters ago. The foreshadowing was on the wall. I could see some things going on with Hina and Natsuo. Just because the author was taking it that way. I told people that the author was intentionally, the past 12, 15 chapters, was intentionally not allowing Natsuo and Hina to be together. Now, when I said that, I meant that the dialogue was different. The dialogue wasn't even the same. The facial expressions during the character interactions were not the same. I said that. But Hina fans didn't want to believe me. They didn't want to believe me, man. And it's alright, because I love Hina as a character, first and foremost. I'm going to have a podcast dedicated to her on one of my HexCasts. But nonetheless, guys, all I'm saying is the author was literally trying to do anything but have Hina and Natsuo together. Will they end up together later on in the future? Well, there's a problem there too. I told you guys that Hina was actually in the hardest position to even be with Natsuo. And that's because, one, she has to deal with her sister. A panel back. I told you guys these panels matter. I said, Hina promised Rui that she wouldn't do anything to hurt Rui. And as an older sibling, and as siblings in general, you know what's going on with, 95% of the time, you understand each other. You know what's going on in your sibling's head because you know how they work. You know how they think. You know how they feel. You're the closest thing to being that other person, your siblings, right? And you think Hina doesn't know that Rui has feelings? She knows. So that's why she would never dare to cross that line, and that's why she's been restraining herself. But hey, let's talk about what just happened this chapter. Let's talk about it, baby. Let's talk about it. Serizawa fans, let me hear you in the server, in the link in the description. Come to my domestic chat. Let me hear you in the comment section. Let me hear you by smashing that like button. Serizawa and Natsuo get together. This was very adorable. The way they presented this was absolutely positively phenomenal. It was set up properly. This was the longest setup, and I think this was the most anticipated setup out of all the relationships in Domestic Girlfriend. And yes, I'm a Serizawa fan, but I'm not being biased. I'm putting that aside because I'm going to attack it at a logical standpoint instead of just seeing words on these panels and saying, oh, that must be referring to Hina. Everything in this chapter from the bottom to end, I saw the foreshadowing. 12 to 15 chapters ago, like I said. And, it was indirect foreshadowing. It wasn't even words coming from Natsuo's mouth. It was words coming from Natsuo and Hina's mouth. And, of course, Rui's out of the picture. That's just not going to happen anytime soon. What I was really trying to get at with this episode, I saw the foreshadowing as soon as Natsuo was talking about, Eddie and Grace. I saw it last chapter. That was these two relationships. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to harm you. I don't want to put you in harm's way. I mean, it was clear, man. I know some people try to direct that to Hina, but you got to take things in context. If there's foreshadowing going on in a Hina scene with Natsuo in those scenes, then yeah, it's probably about her. No, it is about her. This happened in this character arc with Serizawa and Natsuo. Of course it's about them. Of course this is Natsuo's way out. This is Natsuo's chance to have a real, true relationship. If you're a Natsuo fan, you would want him to be a Serizawa most likely in the grand scheme of things, right? I mean, he gets out of a domestic relationship. He gets to be in a free, open relationship to where he can do what he wants, hang out with, when he wants, with who he wants. Doesn't have to be afraid to be caught in public. Doesn't have to have family asking questions. Doesn't put his family, mom and dad, in a peculiar situation. He doesn't have to do that now. And what this chapter showed me is that I'm happy for fucking Natsuo, man. I'm happy for Natsuo. I love Serizawa. I fell for her. She's absolutely awesome, adorable character. But at the end of the day, that man known as Natsuo, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for that guy. Fuck Serizawa. Fuck Hina. Fuck Rui. I'm happy for that guy. But now I do love Serizawa. I absolutely love her. But that ending panel where, we're going through, the foreshadowing for this panel was actually done about 5 panels prior, where Serizawa said, I'll be giving a heartfelt performance on this test, so you better respond in kind. So right there, you knew it was coming from the heart. And then whenever you have the panel where she's like, oh man, whenever you have the panel to where they're going, they're talking about improvising, which that was foreshadowing too. It was foreshadowing that they were going to improvise this scene. So she says, I want to be with you. Then in her head, she monologues, respond to me, Fuji. And that's coming from the heart. And then everyone's looking at this, they're wondering, oh my God, Natsuo he's as good as any of us. He may be better than us. How is he this good? How is he on our aces level, Serizawa's level? And they even admitted that Natsuo started leading Serizawa, early in the chapter. But whenever she says, respond to me, Fuji, and everyone's like, huh? Isn't this where Grace accepts that they can't be together? It's supposed to be. But then, after Serizawa says, I want to be with you, Natsuo says, me too. And did you see the author? It's as if the author was putting an extra stamp of approval on this relationship. And I bet you 99% of you guys didn't even notice it. At the last panel, the author left a note for everyone. I can't believe the author did this. The author did this, man. What a bold move. I don't know if this is a middle finger up kind of move or what kind of move is this. I feel like it's just kind of a, hey, I'll write this story how I want to write this story. And there's some fans that have been sending stuff to the author. I don't know. But this seems just kind of like, hey, this is my story, not yours. To shippers and so on and so forth out there. But that's just kind of what I got from it. But she just put an extra stamp of approval, and she did not do this with Ruby or Hina's panels, which has me asking the question. But it's not a spur of a moment. It's an honest feelings. It's not a spur of the moment, insinuating it's not a spur of the moment kind of thing. It's honest feelings, and the reply is positive. It's on the very last panel where he says, me too, bottom right corner. If you have not seen it, go back and read it. And I'll read it one more time, baby, for all you Serizawa fans. It's not a spur of the moment. It's honest feelings. And the reply is positive. There's a few things, man, as I scroll down here, because I'm about to read this, I said in my Discord server, I said, okay, I have some stuff to say. And I know everyone's going to be rooting for their best girls and whatnot, but you must remember the ending of this manga is coming soon. Does the story have 30 chapters left even? Well, I don't know. But at the same time, each relationship has lasted 30 chapters or more. And that leads me to what I'm about to say in the HexCast. Hina not only had clearly the author against her in these last 10, 15 chapters, that's obvious. Like, the author has really, and it's seeming more and more so, that the author was being serious whenever she wrote the dialogue for Hina saying, I don't care about me and Natsuo. I care about Natsuo being happy. If Natsuo was happy with whoever it may be and whatnot, then I am happy too. She said that. And then ever since she said that, the past 30 some odd chapters, guess what she's been doing? She's been happy for Natsuo. She's been there as a sister. And that was shown by them living together. So, she had that going against her. So she had the author against her. At least from what we've seen. But at the same time, she also had not just the author against her. She had her sister against her. She put herself in a peculiar spot when she promised Rui that she was not going to hurt her. She knows that Rui has feelings for Natsuo, guys. So before Hina could even dream of being together with Natsuo, she would talk to her sister first. Siblings don't do that to one another. And you know what the theme of the show has been on the romance side of things? You know what the main idea, the main concept has been? Like, do you know what has driven the relationships in the show? Realism. And in reality, 9.9 out of 10 times, because I know there are a few weird exceptions, you're not going to throw your sibling under the bus like that. So she had the author against her clearly. She had the whole Rui situation being her older sister against her clearly. But more than that, any other relationship in the show, if Serizawa and Natsuo are to break up, I kind of, I said Serizawa wasn't going to be with Natsuo, but now I look at it and I'm like, wow, that actually happened. So this changes my perspective and everything completely. I do believe that they will stay together. And I say, and this is why. Because, I even saw some people talking about this in my Discord. Guys, he's going to be with her for a minute. And a minute in domestic girlfriend time is 30 chapters. The author stated a few months back, I think, actually, like 3-4 months, that the domestic girlfriend would somewhat be ending soon. I think it was like 2 months ago, 2.5 months, somewhere between 2 and 3 months ago, that it would be ending soon. It is coming to a close. It is coming. There's a couple more volumes left, and there's usually about, at most 10 chapters in a volume. I mean, more times than not, there's about, 5 to 8 chapters a volume in manga books. So you're looking at, if there's about 6 volumes left, and there's probably about 30 chapters left, 40, 50 chapters left. The author has taken their time. And this is the biggest thing. Not just the author, not just Rui being in Hina's way, clearly the last few the last quite a few chapters. It's time. The author is good at setting up relationships. They take their time. She makes them realistic. So you know what that means? It means that there's not even really enough time for another relationship to happen. Serizawa and Natsuo will most likely have to break up in the next 8 chapters in order for there to be no time. Be enough time to establish a credible relationship, a new relationship. And if and there's just so many things for Hina to go through to get to Natsuo. And she's my second favorite female character. I mean, he has never really kind of been given a fair chance. She's always been thrust into a role in which she had to break up or leave the relationship, and she's been in a position to where she cannot get back into a relationship. And then she's also she's axed herself. Hina did it to herself, guys. Hina, the character, put her own self in this position. She had an option. I feel like she wasn't given a fair chance the first time around, but she did have an option. This isn't the author's fault. This isn't anyone's fault, right? I mean, this is how the story's flown. And guess what? The same story that you love, the same story that you guys love, known as Domestic Girlfriend, and that's why you're here clearly, and that's why you talk about in the chat. We have a dedicated chat, room to it in my server. Link in the description below, once again, if anyone wants to join. The same author that you've loved the past 200 some odd chapters, don't turn on her now. Don't get mad at her if Hina's not with him now, because you were eating up all this Hina stuff. Oh, Hina's gonna get back with him. You guys were eating it up. You guys were eating it up. You were saying every single little piece of dialogue has to be towards Hina, and it ended up being towards Serizawa the past 20, 30 chapters. Like I said. Don't hate her now. Don't hate her now if he's with, if he's Serizawa for good. If I see a Hina fan dissing the story, even though I see him loving it today in my server especially, I'm gonna at you, and I'll probably at everyone else to expose you. I don't believe in that. I hate when people do that. Don't have a double standard. Don't love it and love everything about it, but then hate it because the ending isn't how you wanted it to be. When in terms of romance series. I mean, I just had someone in the chat, Ikwa, my editor, actually say the author has stated that it'll likely end at the 300 chapter mark, right around there. And I mean, man, what chapter are we on again? 235. That's what he says. I have not seen that though. That's what he stated. The author said, but I've heard it's ending way sooner than that, man. I mean, I've heard it's ending way sooner than that, man. I mean, let me see here. Let me see if I can find something. I'm going to try to pull something up for all of you. I'm going to attempt to. I'm going to see if the author has said anything, more recent compared to things in the past. So I started watching the anime, and yesterday after I watched episode 4, I decided to read the manga. I've now completed 217 chapters out right now. I was wondering if anyone knows or has an idea how much longer the story will go on. So that was 4 months ago. And now people responded to this person by saying, not for another 50 plus chapters. Everyone has their own idea for the ending. Just pick your own poison. So, man, I think it's going to end soon, man. I think it really is going to end here pretty soon, guys. But don't have that double standard. I don't want to see double standard. Serizawa fans celebrate. I love this episode. It's awesome. I'm pumped. You can ask my editor. We were reading the chapter together. Actually, we're sharing screens and reading it together. Awesome. Absolutely phenomenal chapter. It was set up beautifully from start to finish. Fucking awesome, man. This was a very, very, very good chapter. I'm very impressed with the writing that this series has showcased, man. It's not every day you get a good romance like this. I think this is a special kind of romance. Ask Giguk. He read the manga and he loved it. I mean, good chapter. Just don't have a double standard. You know, you can't love it yesterday, but then hate it today. As always, guys, you guys have been Hex. Be sure to leave a like. Definitely leave a comment. Definitely subscribe. Serizawa, Natsuo seem to be officially together. I think it's pretty safe to say. If it comes out... Now, listen, no chapter next week. But in 2 weeks from now, on around July, probably 9th, we see them still together. That would be awesome. That'd be... I mean, it's pretty much set. There's a 99% chance, they're together. I mean, the author just left that note for all you other shippers, right? They left it for us Serizawa fans. This is cool. So as always, guys, once again, one more outro. I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed the HexCast. Merchandise is coming. I'm going to drop a video probably today, but latest tomorrow for sure, 100%. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow Twitter, X25, share the hell out of this video. And hey, Natsuo, Serizawa all the way. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace. Have a great day.